So before going out and buying your Tesla, don't and watch this video instead, because the 1/10 car buying rule says that the car you're buying shouldn't be worth more than what you make per year divided by 10. And if you really want to master your money, you need to know how to do this.
Another thing you need to do is learn how to make 20-cent iced coffees. So rev up your engines and let's go check out the Tesla Model Y. Crazy thought. Did you know that last year in 2019, the average purchase price of a car was $36,718? That's kind of crazy to me because if you would have taken that money and invested it into the S&P 500 just 10 years ago, that money today would have been worth $135,000.
Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. And there's a lot of people that are joining this movement called FIRE. And their goal is to be financially independent and to retire early. And basically it's this crazy group of people that are obsessed with money. And I guess I'm one of them. And in today's video, my goal is to sort of have you join the mission and to sort of recruit you. Now there's 3 different levels of FIRE. There's something called LeanFire, FIRE, and FatFire. Now LeanFire is where you save 25 times what you spend in an average year of your life. So for example, if you spend $20,000 per year, you take that and multiply it by 25 to get math. $500,000. The theory behind this is that if you can save and invest that amount of money at least 4% or more, you will never run out of money because it will grow faster than what you can take from it, and at that point, you'd be considered retired. It's almost like infinite money glitch. It's like a glitch in the matrix, and the goal is to do this as soon as possible in your life. Now, once you achieve it though, then you can cruise around in your awesome Tesla and just do whatever you want, like this autopilot, which is pretty cool. But you still probably can't afford to buy a Tesla at that level until you go to the next level. Ooh, and that is called FIRE. That's when you spend the US average household income, which is around $60K per year. Now, if you want to make $60,000 per year passively and never run out of money, you need to save $1.5 million and then invest it at least 4%, at which point you will have achieved FIRE. But even at this level, we still technically can't afford to buy this car if we wanted to use the 1/10 rule. Now to afford that Tesla though, you need to aim for something called FatFire. Now this is where you make above average incomes, and it starts at $100,000 per year. And to make $100K per year passively, you need to save $2.5 million. And after you do that, if you can invest that money in something like the stock market to get the average return, and if you can withdraw that money at 4% or lower, then the theory goes you will never run out of money. And yes, this does actually work, and no, you don't need to buy anything from me, no courses, no newsletters, no email subscriptions. Just subscribe and just continue watching the video. Now to get to FatFire, one of the things that you need to do is follow this 1/10 car buying rule. And I've been doing this without even knowing about it, but the moment that I found this article from Financial Samurai, I was like, yes, this is me, my life makes sense. So if you want to achieve some special things in your life, like maybe buying your parents a house without worrying about it instead of buying yourself a Tesla, then this is one of the things that you need to do. Okay, so let's talk about this and why you probably can't afford to buy this car. So the 1/10 rule says that you should only buy a car that's no more than 1/10 of your yearly income. And then once you do buy the car, you need to own it for at least 5 years before upgrading to something better and shinier. And this is because of something called the opportunity cost. So in this Model Y's case, the total out the door cost to how it's spec'd out is at $59,900. And if you took that money and invested it into the S&P 500, into a stock like VTI over an average working career, which is anywhere between 40 to 50 years, let's use the lower end of that, 40 years. After 40 years of having that money just work for you and invested, you would end up having $896
$40,000. And that's a lot of money. That's basically fire territory for most people. And that's not even talking about the added costs of owning a nicer car that people don't even talk about, like higher insurance rates, like always worrying and stressing about who damaged the car, who scratched it, always going out and valeting the car because you want to show off because you have this nice car, and then buying yourself a new set of clothes, getting that watch to complete the look because, well, you've got this far. What's another couple $1,000s? And I know that sounds silly, but that's all part of the lifestyle inflation that we go through that's also completely against the path to FatFire.
Just live a little. Treat yourself. You only live once.
It's okay. I used to be dumb with money too at one point. I'm just kidding. But you don't need to compare yourself to coworkers. Don't worry about what they're driving. And no, you don't need a nicer car to impress your clients. No one cares. Maybe if you're a real estate agent, there's exceptions. But even at that point, just park a minute away and walk. No one cares what kind of a car you drive. And you shouldn't feel bad for driving around in a beater. Like, this is the kind of car that my girlfriend and I had right before I sold the car. I made a video about it. I feel pretty bad, but it was a pretty sporty car.
Kidding. Our car doesn't work. Been here the whole time.
That looked good, right? Like, you were for a second there convinced it was actually moving somewhere. Yeah, it was a 2004 Nissan Sentra, and it was actually my mom's, and I would have continued to drive that car. I love that car. But it broke down, and something happened to the head gasket, and I don't know what that word means, but I was told by the mechanic that it wasn't even worth the price of the car to actually fix it, so I sold it for around $1,200, and last year, my girlfriend and I got a 2017 Toyota Corolla with 17,000 miles on it, and we bought it for $14,000. So I put $10,000 down and she put down $4,000. And using the 1/10 rule, I needed to have been making $100,000 a year to comfortably afford the car, which I was. And she needed to make at least $40,000 a year, which she was as well.
Okay, dude, but using this rule, what am I gonna go to work in?
Rollerblades?
Here's the kind of vehicle you should drive in relation to your income.
Now, of course, this is all just my opinion, so I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people that disagree with me, but if we can set aside our ego for just a few minutes and remember that owning your time so that you can do what you want, wherever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want, is the ultimate luxury that money can buy, and it's not about the kind of car that you're actually driving. So just remember that when looking at this list. Shop around for comparables for cars that you like, but here's the breakdown. So if you make less than $25,000 US dollars a year, then you should be riding around in a moped. I did that. Yeah, I did that for many, many years. It was a 49cc Chinese moped. It topped out at 30 miles per hour, but it got me 30 or 40 miles of range, and it cost literally $1 to fill up. It cost me $600 to buy brand new. I love that thing. It wasn't the safest option. The only thing I was missing while I was riding it was just an orange tuxedo. And I know what you're thinking. Just when I thought you couldn't get any dumber, you go and do something like this.
And totally redeem yourself!
Now, if you can't afford to redeem yourself as much as I was redeeming myself, then just get yourself a pair of rollerblades or just bicycle to work. I know that sounds silly and maybe a little embarrassing, but I promise you're gonna be blown away by just how much money you're gonna save just doing that for 1 year. And if you don't wanna try it, just please try it for a month. You're gonna be amazed. Now, if you make between $25,000 to $50,000 a year, then this is the Scotty Kilmer range, as I like to call it. This is the Toyotas, the Hondas, the Nissans. This is the range where you're just looking at ye old reliables. That's this right here. Now, if you make between $100,000 to $200,000 a year, you're now making some pretty serious money, but you should still be buying reliable Japanese cars. Something like a Toyota Yaris, a Kia Rio, a Honda Fit, a Nissan Versa, Hyundai Elantra, Hyundai Kona. If you're a family person, maybe you want yourself a Toyota Prius if you can keep it under $20,000. Or you can go my route and just buy yourself a Toyota Corolla used. I know it's not the sexiest option in the world, but hey, it's a car and it gets you there. And what are cars for if not getting us there from A to B? But now we've covered that income level, I want to cover some of the even higher income levels. Now, if you make anywhere between $200,000 to $250,000 a year, this is where you can finally follow in Jesus' footsteps and get yourself a Honda. For he too did not speak of his own accord. Sorry, this is still not the income level where you can afford yourself BMWs and Mercedes. Here you're looking more like Ford Fusions, Toyota Camrys, Honda Civics, sports editions. Maybe if you want something quicker, something like a Volkswagen Golf, yeah? They're a little bit more nimble. Maybe if you want a hybrid option, that's here. Basically anything $25,000 and under. Now, if you make between $250,000 to $500,000 a year, this is where the luxury bracket starts. This is where you can shop around for cars that are worth anywhere between $25,000 to $50,000. And this could be things like the Mercedes C-Class, the Mercedes E-Class, pushing it though, the Toyota Supra, the Lexus ES, the Audi TT, maybe the Corvettes, maybe the BMW 1s, 3s, 5s, pushing it though, and not quite the 7s, the Model Ys, the Model 3s, non-performance editions, and this is the income bracket where you can even begin to start to think about buying a luxury car. Now, if you make between $500,000 to $1 million a year, then you should still not even be buying Lamborghinis and Ferraris. That is not this income level. Here you should be buying something like a Maserati, used Bentleys, Porsches, any of the Tesla models, including the performance editions, with the exception of the Tesla Roadster. You can't quite buy one here, but you might be able to get away with something like a used Ferrari F430 or a used Lamborghini Gallardo, but you can't buy them brand new because that belongs to the next income bracket. $1.5 million a year. The baller level. But here, you would basically get the entry-level Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, the McLaren 570S basic entry model. And that's not to say that if you have $1.5 million, you're making that much per year, that you should be buying a car in this price range. It just means that following this FatFire rule of 1/10, that $1.5 million, 10% or 1/10 of that is $150,000.
This rule is dumb, bro. I like cars and I want to buy what I want to buy, okay?
There's an exception to this 1/10 rule. So here's a scenario. Imagine a person who saved up $1 million and they were smart enough to invest it into a dividend portfolio that was generating 4% per year. That means that person is now making $40,000 per year off of the interest off of that $1 million. So this 1/10 rule says that that person can only afford a $4,000 car. That's a little weird for somebody with a net worth of $1 million, right? So in this case, you can also use the 5% of your net worth rule. So in this case, that $1 million, you can use the 5%, which is $50,000. You can buy a car worth up to $50,000. What if I already own a car that's more than 1/10 of my income? I mean, I already bought one before watching this video. Sometimes YouTube doesn't recommend your videos to me. Well, in this case, if you already have a car that's more than 1/10 of your income, don't beat yourself up. There's a really simple answer to this. Don't do that. So all you have to do is just keep your car until it depreciates to 10% of your annual income. So for example, if you bought a $20,000 Toyota Corolla and you're making $40,000 per year, just wait until that Toyota is worth $4,000 and then you can sell it, get rid of it, or just keep driving it.
And that brings me to the ultimate point of this Model Y that I'm inside of right now that I got from Turo, which this video is not sponsored by, but I didn't want to buy this car. But if I were to buy it, using this 1/10 FatFire rule, I would need to make $600,000 per year roughly. And let's face it, how many people that own a Tesla make $600,000 per year? Probably very, very few people. And if instead I wanted to use the 5% rule, then I would need to have a net worth of $1.2 million, which is a lot of money. Hold on, let me use my Mint app to see if I have that. Nope, not even close.
Now, are there other ways of looking at this affordability rate other than this crazy conservative 1/10 of your income or 5% of your net worth rules? Yeah, there is, like the total cost of ownership per year. That's an easier one. There's a lot of different mental gymnastics to make us feel better about the cars that we buy. But the point is that this is one of the fastest paths if you're really committed to FIRE. at least in relation to your car. And don't even get me started on your house. Do you really need to do this with everything in your life and pinch every single penny forever? No, you really don't need to, but it's a great start on your path to FIRE, no matter what FIRE level you pursue, whether it's a LeanFire, FIRE, or FatFire. But while you're saving your money, you need to start investing it. And one of the ways you can do that is by funding your Webull account $100. You'll get one free stock valued up to $1,600. You can get a second free stock for signing up with Robinhood. You can follow me on Instagram. I post from time to time. Join my free Discord group. I will see you back here on Monday and Friday, sometimes a Wednesday. Love you. Bye-bye.